Fractions to decimals. Part 1. You have changed decimal numbers to fraction. For example, 0.25, you have changed it to 25 over 100. You have also reduced those numbers to its lowest term. For example, 25 over 100, you have reduced it to 1 over 4. You have also changed decimals with whole number parts. Of course, that gives you a mixed number. Now we are going to the other way. I am going to show you how to turn a fraction to decimal. You probably know some decimal fraction equivalents like this. 2 over 10, that gives us 0.2. 5 over 10, that gives us 0.5. Then 4 over 100 gives us 0.04. And of course, 73 over 100 gives us 0.73. But you can't learn everything possible by heart. That means you cannot learn everything about fraction by heart. That would be very crazy. We are going to walk the mountains using skills you already have. But this time around, we are going to bring up our place value chart to help us understand fractions to decimals better. Look at this place value chart on the board. Now this place value chart, we have our decimal points here. This part we have unit, this part we have 10, this part we have 100, while this other part we have 1 over 10, we have 1 over 100, and we have 1 over 1000. Looking at this place value chart, you will agree with me that we have two parts, the whole number part and the decimal part. Let's look at an example using this place value chart. If we have 7 over 10, this number 7 over 10, this fraction, does not have a whole number. So what do? We put 0 in the unit part and we add our point. 7 will now rest on the 10th part. We put 0 in the unit part, we put our point, 7 will now rest on the 10th part. It's just the opposite of what you already learned when you turn a decimal fraction, when you turn a decimal into fraction. Look at another example. What if we have 2 over 100? Of course, there is no whole number in this fraction. So we put our 0 in the unit, give it a point. We have 2 zeros here. You put 0, the first 0 in the 10th part, and you put 2 in the 100th part. So this is how we express our fractions to decimals using the place value chart. But on the other hand, what if our fraction has a denominator that does not have 10, 100 or 1000? Then our go-to strategy is to make new equivalent fraction with a friendly base 10 denominator. Let's look at the board to see some of these examples. 1 over 2, 3 over 25, 2 over 5, 9 over 20. These fractions on the board does not have a denominator of 10, that is base 10, 100 and 1000. So let's look at an example. What if we have 4 over 5, that is 4/5? What do we do? How do we change this fraction to a decimal? Here is what we will do. We will turn that fraction into a denominator of 10. This is what we want to look at. 4 over 5. We are going to turn this fraction into a denominator of 10 with a new equivalent fraction with a base 10 denominator. But how do we do this? The equivalent of 4 over 5 will give us 8 over 10. But how do we know? We take the denominator to a power of 10 by looking for a factor that will multiply 5, giving us 10. We are still going to use that same factor to multiply 4 to give us 8. Here is it. 4 over 5 times 2. 2 to 5 will give us 10. 2 to 4 will give us 8. At this point, we have changed 4 over 5 to a denominator with base 10. Now, we can change this fraction 8 over 10 to decimal by correcting it to one decimal place backwards. 1. So our final answer for this is 0.8. You may wonder, what if you get a mixed number like 4 whole number 7 over 50? What if you see something like this? 4 whole number 7 over 50. What will you do in this instance? There is nothing different with what we just did. All you need to do, bring out your whole number 4. Then you change the 7 over 50 to a base 10 denominator. So we bring out 7 over 50 to a base 10 denominator by multiplying it with a common factor. In this case, we are going to use 2 because 2 to 50 will give us 100. 2 to 7 will give us 14. So we correct 14 over 100. That is, we change 14 over 100 to decimal by correcting it to 2 decimal places. 1, 2, and we put our point. So in this case, our answer will become 4.14. That's exactly what you do if you come across a mixed fraction to change it to decimal. You've got the idea. Now it's time to try some for yourself. What if you have something like this? 3 whole number 5 over 20. I want you to try this for yourself to see if you have gotten the concept of what we have discussed so far. For other fractions where you can't make a base 10 denominator, there is another step you can take to make it work, and that's part 2 of fractions to decimals. See you next time. Bye bye.